we are creating a new promise of brand, which is going to be, as well as our enormous contribution to the physical health of Canada. So our objective is to have a clear and present identity. So I will now present a brief video that is going to present the visual elements of the video, of the new logo.
Cows have changed for the better since the 1960s, and so has our organization. Dairy Farmers of Canada has been undergoing some changes. We have created a new brand conviction that celebrates the hard work of dairy farmers, as well as their huge contribution to the overall physical, emotional, and economic health of Canada and Canadians. And now it's time to take a look at our consumer-facing logo. Right now, not enough dairy products currently carry the logo. And because of this, Canadians can't easily locate the 100% Canadian milk products they want and love at store level, or easily identify Dairy Farmers of Canada as the organization that represents Canadian dairy farmers from coast to coast. So if we want to truly differentiate the Canadian dairy sector, our logos need to change. We need to work with processors of all sizes and retailers in order to help Canadians easily identify dairy products made with Canadian milk. That's why we set out to create a new logo that will cover both 100% Canadian milk and products, as well as our organization. The new logo needs to be consistent with our new brand conviction. We are Dairy Farmers of Canada, and we believe in the power of dairy to give Canada a healthier future. And the logo needs to work as both a certification mark of origin, as well as a mark for Dairy Farmers of Canada, the organization. In order to do this, we took a look at what we loved about our logo, the cow, where Canadian milk comes from, the maple leaf, and our rich blue color, and used these as an inspiration for our new logo. So, what does that logo look like? Introducing our new logo. The standing cow was inspired by the simple, natural purity of milk. The cow stands proudly forward-looking, bearing our Canadian leaf prominently. The logo also represents the farming community, their pride and commitment to the animals they raise and care for, and the natural, healthy products they provide Canadians. The symbol acts as a mark of origin and wholesomeness. The bright blue, which is slightly lighter than our current one, is optimistic and speaks to freshness. It helps identify where milk really comes from. Real Canadian cows, not the grocery store. Our products are made with real milk from real cows, and that's why people love the taste of Canadian milk. A more realistic Holstein cow helps reflect our value of truth in labeling, in having one image that represents Dairy Farmers of Canada, but also represents the quality milk we produce in Canada. This, in turn, lets the community better understand who we are and what we do.
Okay, now that you've seen the visual of the new organization logo, I want to take a bit of time to expand on what we've touched in the video and why this is very important to our industry as well as for all Canadians. Dairy farmers fed the families that build this country and feed the families that continue to build it today. The sustainability of our industry, the ability to evolve and grow, to innovate, is something that farmers and all Canadians should be proud of. And it makes me proud to be here today to present the new face of our organization, as we need to be sustainable, to evolve, to grow, and truly represent the dairy sector. Over the past year, we've been taking a look at how our organization can achieve these goals and to better represent our dairy farmers and consumer, and came to the realization that we needed to refresh our signature. Today, we unveil a logo that better represents who we are, Dairy Farmers of Canada, joined in name, united by passion. A passion for producing Canadian quality milk, following farming best practices by dairy farmers who have animal welfare, environment protection, and Canadian families' health at heart. The new logo will represent Dairy Farmers of Canada, the organization. We will begin to use it immediately. As you saw in the video, a complementary logo that will be a certification mark of origin of 100% Canadian milk and Canadian dairy ingredient has also been created and reads quality milk. The formal introduction of this certification mark of origin will happen in early 2017, and as you saw, the look and feel of the both marks are very similar. This is a two-phase process, and as the new certification mark of origin will be used in the marketplace, we'll need transition time. The new organization logo and the slightly different certification origin logo have been designed to be eye-catching, easier to understand, to create a strong brand identity, and to leverage the positive relationship farmers have with Canadians. Dairy farmers are innovators, always looking for ways to improve and evolve, and the new logo reflects this. As we look to the future for consumer and the industry, the objective is to have one clear and strong identity and truly differentiate the Canadian dairy sector. This is an important day for our organization, for dairy farmers across the country, and for all Canadians who love the taste of natural, nutritious Canadian milk. I will now ask Wally to say a few words.
Thank you, Carolyn. I am also extremely pleased to be here today as we unveil the new Dairy Farmers of Canada logo. As Carolyn said, it is important that we are always looking towards the future, and that is what today represents. The dairy industry must ensure that it remains sustainable for our farmers of today and for the next generation of farmers for tomorrow. To ensure this, we must always stand together because we are stronger together. Today is important because it shows how committed we are to this very theme. We are the unified voice of proud Canadian dairy farmers that have been here for generations, and dairy farmers who will be here for generations to come. We are the Dairy Farmers of Canada, and we believe in the power of dairy to give Canada a healthier future. This new signature will have the strength associated with Dairy Farmers of Canada and the story and values behind Canadian quality milk. Canadian consumers believe in Canadian milk and Canadian milk products. They trust the outstanding quality and safety standards on sustainable Canadian dairy farms and want to continue supporting Canadian dairy farmers. Thank you.
So we'll be happy to take any of your questions on the organizational logo. Nous allons prendre vos questions sur.
We will now open the floor to any questions.
I'm going to flip a coin and start with Alex Binkley.
Ladies first.
All right. Kelsey Johnson.
So have you got the processors and the grocery stores agreed to use this label? I mean, it's fine for you guys to use it, but if they don't put in other products, it's all kind of blowing in the wind, right?
In the development of the logo, yes, we have taken into consideration the consent they had in the past, and we are working actively with them to support the use of the new logo.
So you still have to negotiate it with them?
It's not a question of negotiation. The logo is up for licensing, and it's for the processor to decide to ask for that license.
Okay.
Kelsey.
So what were the concerns that the processors had with the label in the past, and how has this new logo, are you convinced that the processors are going to adopt this new logo, or are you going to run into the same challenges that you've always run into?
No, actually, the development of the logo actually allows us to do a lot of research, and we were able to find the elements that were the most important for the consumer, because at the end of the day, we want the consumer to see itself in the logo, and I think that research will be very speaking to the processor. And as we said in both our presentation and the video, the positioning of the dairy farmers is very strong with the customer and the public in general. The public supports Canadian farmers, and now having a strong logo that everybody will recognize and using that denomination so people know where it's coming from will definitely bring value to the people that will be using the logo.
So the other issue that is kind of the elephant in the room, I guess, is the national ingredient strategy. I think November 1st was the next kind of timeline from the convention in July as to what was going to happen with this ingredient strategy. Can you give us an update on where that is at?
The ingredient strategy is still being worked on. It's still being reviewed, and not everyone has signed off on it as of yet because it's still undergoing analysis. That really isn't part and parcel of why we're here today. And to your question about certification, the certification starts in the beginning of 2017, as you have been discussing the logo that's going on packaging. But this is our master brand. We're celebrating a new launch of our master brand. You saw in the video the old master brand that really wasn't very highly recognized, and so we are hoping that with this refresh that we've done, that it'll bring again new energy both to our constituency across the country, and that when we get into the certification logo or the marketing logo, that through a transition period, which is going to take some time unless processors are so excited about it that they're going to want want to fast track and use it immediately. We believe that with the changes that we've made, we are going to have a big buy-in, and Canadian consumers then will be able to recognize that, look, I'm buying product made from Canadian milk, and with the advent of so many people wanting to buy local, so many people wanting to know where their food is sourced from, we can proudly say as Canadian farmers in the marketplace, consumers, in spite of, perhaps the labeling situation that we have in Canada, which isn't all that strong, you can have a guarantee with our signature on the products that bear it to know that it comes from Canadian farms.
We're at this point where there's two of you, so why don't you just go back and forth?
Of course, the CETA is signed. And are you yet confident that the original compensation offer still stands with the new government?
The government last year said that they were committed to a compensation package. We expect them to be true to their word. And so if they've signed the CETA deal, which apparently is now going to come into effect provisionally, we expect fully that the government will keep their word and compensate dairy farmers to the level that the injury is going to be experienced by dairy farmers across the country. We lose this production for the future. It's not just a one-time shot. It's a fact that an asset of ours has been expropriated for the good of the country's economy with this free trade deal with the European Union. We expect that because we have had to give up some of our asset and ability to produce milk as it's getting displaced by the import of European cheeses and other products, that the government will keep their word as far as it is concerned when it comes to compensation for dairy farmers.
On CETA, there had been some concern around the definitions of industrial cheese and fine cheese and what that would actually involve. Do we have more specifics in terms of what kind of European cheeses are actually going to be coming into the market?
Not at this point.
No, because the TRQ allocation for imports have not been allocated yet. We don't know the rules as well, so that will have an impact. So we're still waiting for that to be announced, as well as with the compensation package.
And I want to go back to the ingredient strategy for a moment. The New York governor wrote a letter to Trudeau, dated October 25th, but it was made public yesterday, warning that in his view, this national ingredient strategy could violate WTO commitments. I'm wondering whether or not that this is a warning from a governor, but there's been warning from U.S. industry now too around the fact that this could cause problems with the WTO. Are you concerned about that going forward as you're having your discussions?
It's all hypothetical. The ingredient strategy, as I've said, is still under review, and it's not in operation at this point in time. And so there can be, as the minister said, there can be all kinds of threats made vis-a-vis WTO or NAFTA or whatever free trade agreement might be in place. He's not scared of threats. We're not scared of threats. And we believe that anything that we've done inside of our country to deal with our domestic product is something that we have every right to be able to determine for ourselves.
But Wally, it is in effect in Ontario because of the Class 6 changes.
That's a provincial program.
But can't you can launch a WTO challenge on a provincial program, can't you?
That's something you would have to ask a trade negotiator, because I've never launched a WTO challenge myself, so I don't know what's involved there.
And what's important here is that actually we have all the right in the world to have our market evolve and to adapt to market reality. And that, as our president just said, we're not afraid of any threats. We actually have the right to decide what we want to do with our industry.
So you guys good? Okay, Alex.
Sorry, no, this is just a technical question. I know you have the video, but can we also just get the high-resolution pictures of these logos to send to the papers? Okay.
Yeah, Ashley will provide you that.
All right.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thanks, guys.